In this video, I'm going to try and show you the Andromeda Galaxy like you've never seen it before using two different telescopes. It's 2.5 million light years away, which might sound like a lot. But when you're talking about another galaxy, it's practically in our backyard. Which means the Andromeda offers the best possible view of any other galaxy in the universe. And it's taught us a lot about our own Milky Way, because our view of it is limited from here in the solar system. Andromeda being so close means that when we photograph it, more details can be revealed here than anywhere else. I'm going to go after it with both of my telescopes. A small one to view the entire galaxy at once, and a much larger one to zoom in and go up close on the bright core of the galaxy, where the stars are the most tightly packed together around a supermassive black hole. If it works, I think the final pictures will really be stunning, and hopefully it'll give you a view of Andromeda unlike anything you've seen before. We're going to start by getting a sharp view of the entire galaxy. To do that, we'll need a telescope with a wide field of view, because Andromeda takes up an enormous portion of the night sky. A lot more than most people think. If we could see it in its entirety, it would be about 6 times as wide as the full moon in the sky. My refractor telescope, the William Optics RedCat 51, is perfect for this. Paired with my ZWO astronomy camera, it'll give me that nice big field of view that's required to capture all of the galaxy. Now it's time to get outside and get everything set up. First is the tripod and the mount that keeps the telescope on target, the Skywatcher Star Adventurer GTI. Next is time to bring out the camera and telescope. After plugging everything in, we're ready to go. Here's an early look at a 1-minute sub-exposure. And already we can start to see a lot of details in the galaxy. Now it's time to let the telescope run all night and take as many photos as possible. In total, I captured almost 4 hours of exposures on the galaxy. Let's take a look at the final picture. Andromeda is massive at over 150,000 light-years wide. Contained within this picture is roughly 1 trillion stars, and almost certainly an even greater number of planets. The 2 bright spots on either side of Andromeda are its smaller satellite galaxies, which orbit around it much like the planets circle our sun. Each one is still thousands of light-years across. I think the highlight of this picture is the spiral arms of Andromeda. Because it's tilted at an angle, it offers a stunning view of the dusty spiral arms circling all the way around the center of the galaxy. And while we can never truly wrap our heads around the scale of what we're looking at here, the unmatched level of detail we can reveal in the Andromeda Galaxy can bring us a little bit closer to understanding the size and beauty of the night sky. I love this picture, and it might be my favorite galaxy photo ever. But when you zoom in close, it becomes clear that it was taken with a small telescope, and the photo starts to break down. I'd really like to get a better photo of the core of Andromeda. But to do that, we're going to need something with a lot more power. It's time to bring out my other telescope, the Celestron C8, which has a much bigger mirror and is a lot more zoomed in. This telescope was actually made in the 1980s, but it's still razor sharp today. And it's still attached to the original mount, which makes taking photos quite a bit harder because it doesn't have all the bells and whistles of a modern computerized mount. I documented that whole process in a video from last summer, and actually got pretty good results. But just know that this old mount can't keep the telescope held steady for that long. We're going to have to keep the exposures really short, probably under 10 seconds long each. But oddly enough, these short exposures might actually work in my favor. The core of the Andromeda Galaxy is so bright, with so many stars packed together, that to photograph the faint outer parts of the galaxy, like I just did, the core becomes overexposed. So these really short exposures might actually be exactly what we need to zoom in to the center of the galaxy and get a good image. And so that'll be the plan, to put the same camera on the back of this telescope. It'll give me 1300 millimeters of focal length. That's quite a lot, and almost 6 times as much as with the RedCat 51. The galaxy doesn't even come close to fitting in the frame at once. We're really zoomed in just on that bright core. The goal was to peek behind the curtain of what's usually bright and overexposed to hopefully reveal even more details at the heart of the galaxy. This is really exciting for me because I've never taken a galaxy photo that's this zoomed in. They're just so incredibly far away that we usually can't get up close like this. But Andromeda is the exception. I've never tried to do something like this before, so I don't know exactly what to expect. but if it works, I think the final picture could really be something special. It's cold, but it's mostly clear, and in the winter you gotta take any clear skies you can get. The Andromeda Galaxy will be high in the sky right after sunset, so I'm gonna start shooting it right away tonight. Hopefully these clear skies will last for a couple of hours, and it'll be enough to look in on the core of the Andromeda Galaxy. So let's bring the big telescope outside and get ready to go. Here comes the tripod. And the telescope. Once it gets dark, it's time to take our first 5-second exposure. Oh, look at that. What a view of the core of the galaxy. That bright spot in the middle, that's the center. I can just start to see the spiral arms of the galaxy circling around it. These short 5-second exposures are exactly what we need because the core is so bright. We're not going to see a lot of detail here in just a single 5-second shot. But the goal is to get hundreds, maybe even over 1,000 of these tonight. That'll add up to several hours of imaging time on the core of the galaxy, and then I think the details will really come out. I capture as many photos as possible while the skies are clear. Well, the clouds have moved in now, and I think they're here to stay, so that'll be it for tonight. I got about an hour's worth of photos, but they looked really good, so hopefully it'll be enough. Now it's time to pack everything up, take it inside, and I'll take a look at what I got. Let's take a look at the final close-up image of the Andromeda Galaxy. We're zoomed in on the inner dust lane of the galaxy, and the resolution we're getting here, I think, is astounding. We can see these wispy structures that are totally invisible in the other image. I'm fascinated by all the patterns and details in these dark, dusty areas. It's out of here where new stars and new solar systems are created. Just think about how many stars, planets, and maybe even life is contained within this picture. I love the before and after on the core of the galaxy, where you can really see just how much more detail was revealed. It's these kinds of projects that I really like taking on. Most of the time, you're going to see the traditional wide-field shot, with the whole galaxy fitting in the frame at once. This picture is great, and it's probably more aesthetic, but I'm glad that I was able to go a different route and think outside the box by going up close with a bigger telescope and shorter exposures. By doing this, we were able to reveal entirely new features. The more you zoom in, the more detail you uncover. In fact, the Hubble Space Telescope goes even further and is able to reveal individual stars within the Andromeda Galaxy. Spiral galaxies are a stunning display of stars and dust, of creation on the biggest of scales. While there are billions of them out there, none can be seen in detail like Andromeda. Since we also live in a spiral galaxy, I think these photos help us better grasp our place in the Milky Way. I hope you enjoyed the video and maybe gained a better understanding and appreciation for our galactic neighbor, and what is truly one of the greatest wonders of the night sky. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.